Welcome, everyone, to Tuesday night, Luke Live Online on Wednesday morning. For who knows where the time goes? I certainly don't. This is Wednesday morning. This is session number 24, and I'd like to continue my commentary on the Beatitudes and the Woes of the Sermon on the Plain that Jesus offers as filtered through the Gospel of Luke. As I mentioned last time, Luke wants to make it very emphatic that Jesus is saying our physical environments are impacting our spirituality. Our relationship with God and others is intimately tied to the degree of comfort that we have in our lives, the degree of physical material wealth that we have. If we're in a state of want and expectation in our living situation, we're much more likely to want to focus on God and our relationship with others, our interdependence on others. If we have a lot of wealth, we tend to get complacent in our relationship with God and others. We tend to want to protect ourselves from others, isolate ourselves. Again, not exclusively, not everybody, but this is basically, he wants us to examine our physical situations, the environments that we cultivate, and how it affects our relationship with God and others. A story I think that's very helpful. When I was in Los Angeles, we were helping a fellow who was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS, and he'd been doing very well with his treatments. This was in the late 1990s, and but he was indigent. He wasn't able to work. He had a very joyful disposition. So we were helping him with basics. He had assistance from government. Not family pretty much isolated him or ignored him because of his situation. So at one point, he asked us. And he was living in a kind of a residence motel, just one room and a bath, if he could have a television. And at first, I'll admit, I thought, wait, he's just getting his basic needs. What's this television? How extravagant. We're supposed to provide him with a television? But we talked about it, and our office manager really humbled me. He was saying, well, how often do you watch TV? And I go, well, I do, a few nights a week. Do you find it a comfort, a release from the... I said, well, yeah, I do. And thinking how much, especially for people who are isolated or relatives who've been, judgmental or distant, and just that way of television connecting us to the wider world. It didn't seem so extravagant after all. I thought, in a sense, it's not a matter of entitlement, but it's a matter of human connections. I mean, we couldn't be with him regularly. He wasn't healthy enough to get involved in any parish activities and things of that sort. And his situation was okay, but his life prospects were not great. And I thought, you're right. It was the environment that he needed to have sort of connecting. And so we did. And the sense of his gratitude was worth like $1 million because, it was just part of the relationship, if you will. So when we look at our levels of comfort or discomfort, our economic and environmental situation, what we're able to put in our homes or apartments, what we need to have a basic sense of comfort and connectedness, that's the key to our relationship with God and others. It's not about even so much what we have or even how much we have, but what we have. Is it something to connect us? Is it something we're willing to share? If we have more space, are we inviting people in? If we can. Remember, the early church got started in many ways because of the wealthy patrons who were able to host the Eucharists when the church had to couldn't be public, in those first 2 centuries of the church. So I thought that would add to our conversation last time. I was also touched by a comment someone made about the difference between joy and happiness, which I talked about too. That sense of joy that we're part of Jesus' story, no matter what ups or downs, no matter what our material level of comfort or status may be, we're grounded in the joy that we're part of Jesus and his story. So keep that in mind this week, be it Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day you're watching this. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be on Friday night for Young at Heart. If you missed last week, I got so silly with the Princess and the Pea, so I hope you can check that out. Either scroll through my Facebook page or go to YouTube, James DeLucio, look to my playlists, Luke Live or Young at Heart. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.